happens at birth or whether it's a choice. And I've heard a lot of, I have a talk show, so I listen to a lot of talk shows. And I've heard a lot of gay people say, why would I choose to live like this when everybody isolates me and talks about me and puts me down? Why would I choose that life? And that makes sense to me, because they could be walking down the street and someone will try and kill them just because they are openly gay. Why would somebody choose that life? Why would you choose a life? It's just like people, they compared themselves to being black, and though I don't believe their plight is exactly the same, however, when we walk down the street and our young boys are singled out and killed because they're black, why would, you got a lot of people who are like, don't want to identify with being black because we're singled out and we're stereotyped and we're sought after and harm is brought against us just because you're black. So why, if you had a choice to be straight and live a peaceful life versus being gay and living with people challenging you and coming after you and attacks and slander and you going to hell and all of this kind of stuff, why would you choose that other life? And to back that up, I also look at, when you think about birth defects, there are millions of people born with birth defects. So who's to say that homosexuality may not be some type of a birth defect? Because I don't necessarily believe for everybody. Now, I do believe that there are some people who choose to dabble in that lifestyle. Okay. And I think those are the ones that probably don't really come out and say that they're gay. You got some men on the down low. That's where the whole down low thing, they want to dabble in it for whatever reason. It seems that's just some perverted stuff, and we know that we have perversions in the world as well. So, but someone who totally is committed to that whole lifestyle and wants to marry somebody and openly live their life because it's who they just really are, who's to say that there is not some type of a gene that, maybe they got one too many chromosomes or one too few chromosomes. We see birth defects all the time. You got people that are born with no legs and, an eye that don't work, or we got people, babies, twins that are conjoined. You got an extra head growing out. So, you can't say that homosexuality is not a natural occurrence. You have to look at how other deformities come about. And I'm not saying that they're deformed or handicapped. And when you look at the logic behind it, I think it's quite possible that it's not a choice. It is the way that they are born. And should I not love my neighbor as God directed me to, just because this person? So should I not love the person who was only born with one leg? Should I not love them because they're not normal?
But that doesn't go with the morality of what is going on with today's. Because as you can see, we have so much stuff going on in this world that our heads are spinning left and right. We have ministers. For the last 2 weeks, we have had ministers committing suicide. We have had a pastor's wife Sunday who stepped out the church and blew her brains out in the church parking lot. And then it's coming out, basically, the one who, the pastor in Philadelphia, actually, he's on trial right now by his own church and congregation because he performed a same-sex marriage in 2007 and was not authorized to do that by his congregation. So now he's on trial to be deflocked. His name is Frank Snutzer. It's a German name, but he's a Methodist minister in Philadelphia. And this is what's going on. Is it that ministers are afraid that their congregation is going to bar them from the altar? And that's where it looks like it's getting to the point that they're going to go ahead and do this same-sex marriage because they're fearful of what their congregation, who is basically their trustees, are going to stand over and say, no, we don't want you in the church no more.
Well, I can definitely understand how that would come about. Pastors do have to know the climate of the congregation that they have, because if you've been preaching, fire and brimstone for homosexuality, for the entire span of, your church or whatever, and that's what your congregation signed up for, you can't now just switch roles. You know what I'm saying? If you've been if you're homosexual, you going to hell, and then the next week it's like, okay, well, they're going to hell, but I'm going to marry them because, society and this and that and the other. Your congregation is not going to go for that. So you really need to know. I think that different people join different churches for a reason. You have your traditional churches that, where the women can't wear makeup and they can only wear dresses and all that kind of stuff. You have your more modern churches. It's all the same Bible. When you look at religion, if you look at it on a worldwide scale, there are thousands of different religions and thousands of different beliefs, and we all think that we're right. I grew up Christian, and I have a friend over in overseas in another country, and they are the traditional Muslims over there. And when I talk to him about religion and beliefs and stuff, there's some stuff, it's like when talking to a Catholic person and they pray to Mary and they confess their sins to a man is totally out of the question for me, but for some, that's what they believe. So I said all that to say, you really have to just know the temperature of your congregation. There are some congregations where, the whole same-sex marriage is going to go over fine. As you mentioned, the preachers of L.A., if you look at the white pastor, I can't remember what his name is right now, but in his church, it might work, because everybody's tatted up and, they just have a whole different presentation.
Well, there's an episode that you have missed. He had a young guy that he used to pastor, and now he's in conflict of calling him John or Mary. And
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that episode. He was really struggling, and she was a girl, and she became a guy,
yeah.
And he was really struggling with it. However, you do see it's not like he excommunicated him, and kicked him out of the church. He had to just find a way to deal with it in a way that he felt was in line with his beliefs and what the Bible says to him. All the different interpretations of the Bible, it leads people to different actions. And that's why I said each church, each pastor is really going to have to be aware of what the climate of their church is. And it shouldn't be that difficult because they are the ones that set the precedent for it. If, like I said, if you've been preaching hellfire and brimstone for homosexuality for the last 10, 20 years, your congregation is not really going to be accepting of you turning around performing a same-sex marriage. But if you have that love your neighbor, come as you are type mentality or atmosphere in your church, then that congregation is probably going to be more accepting of something like that. Like I said, I just love my neighbor because I'm not God. I don't have no heaven or hell to put nobody in. I ain't trying to judge. That's too much time for me to be thinking about other people's lives. I just have so much of my own stuff going on right now and trying to make sure that my stuff is all in line, with God and everything else, and my kids, my family. I just don't have time to be judging other people on how they live their life. Because if they in their house doing their thing, I'm in my house doing my thing, and we don't even see each other. So what they do, as long as they don't do it in front of me, okay. I might be a little grossed out there.
We're going to get ready and go to a commercial break. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hands together for Mrs. Xavier Fox. We're going to have a little bit more of her in a few minutes. But we want everybody to tune in and listen to GSJBC Radio, Gospel Jazz Radio, on Live 365. Hold on for a second, Ms. Fox. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to GSJBC Radio Live 365 and Sirius XM Radio. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We have a great show going on. We have Miss Xavier Fox. And what radio show are you on again, Miss Fox? Tell us, what's the name of your show?
On Wednesdays and Fridays, I have my own show on Blog Talk Radio called What's Going On with Xavier Fox. And if you friend me on Facebook, you can find me at Xavier Fox. You can see all the promos and things that I am doing. I also have a talk show, like a talk show that you look at, not just a radio show. But I have a talk show on YouTube. You can find that at X Fox on the Box. It's all one word, lowercase. And we are wrapping up our third season, so you can go on to that channel, X Fox on the Box, and you can check out the last 3 seasons. We are getting ready to shortly go to your TV screen, so I will have information about that as that gets solidified and that time approaches. But yes, Wednesdays and Fridays, 12:30 to 1. What's going on with Xavier Fox on Blog Talk?
Okay. Well, I want to get you here in the studio. It's been a pleasure having you on today. Like I said, I am glad that you did call in to GSJBC Radio. I'm glad that you didn't chicken out like these other 2 ministers. I'm going to be professional about it. I'm not going to call them out. But the thing is, I heard them on 2 other radio stations. One is a blog radio station, and denied, I would never perform same-sex marriage, and lo and behold, what's happening? He's going to perform it. And a couple of weeks ago, I got a radio excerpt with the Bishop Larry Trotter. He was talking to another minister on another radio station in regards to pastors have to fear that people of the same sex can come back and sue them. And one of the ministers like, I didn't know that. So now your eyebrows are raised about doing this. At first you were against it, but now you're forced to do it. All because of financial issue. As we both know, we're here in Chicago, Illinois. Governor Pat Quinn had just signed the bill at UIC Forum yesterday for same-sex marriage. He signed the bill officially yesterday on the 20th. Our world is becoming turned upside down. Do we hold our ministers? Do we hold our children? We have had a lengthy discussion topic, and I appreciate you calling in because you're the only person that didn't punk out. I'm going to say it, you did not punk out. We had a great conversation today, and we are live on GSJBC Radio on Live 365. We don't use no profanity here, but this is a gospel jazz radio station that plays what your heart wants to hear. We reach your soul, and it's all about a morality thing, not a volatility thing, and that's what's going on. So, Ms. Fox, I want to get you here in the studio because it's been a pleasure. I want to have you face-to-face sitting here in front of the studio, in front of our TV cameras, in our Carmel studio. So
okay, so we will definitely work on that happening. Me and my schedule is so busy, and because I also, I do the matchmaking service, and I also do relationship workshops and public speaking. So
what you
with
talking
my
about?
Schedule, it's kind of hard, but we'll make that happen. We'll have to plan it. We'll make sure we make that happen. I'll be in studios. I can be on your cameras, and everybody can see my passionate presentation because I talk with my hands. So.
You're a hand talker, huh? Okay.
Yes, I
am. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to put your hands together for Miss Fox, Miss Xavier Fox, and thank you again for tuning in to GSJBC Radio, Gospel Jazz Radio. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.